Hey guys, so it's Chris Wee's time and I absolutely know nothing of this car except that it's a Volvo wagon.
Yeah, it's a wagon. It's a 245 wagon. Actually, it's the 240 range.
Okay.
People call it the 245 because of 5 doors. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this being the 5th door. So that's why they call it a 245. And it's... one of those very functional wagons whereby it's Euro pallet compliant, so you can actually, you know, those wooden pallets that they load things on. So you can, whatever you're carrying, maybe it's like 4 or 5 rims or 6 rims, you can get your forklift to bring it up, and it goes right in.
Is that why wagons last time were so squarish?
Squarish, yes, squarish, boxy, so that they can fit. The back seat, of course, tumbles forward, and that little panel there goes flat, so you get even more space. So you basically have a 2-seater with full space.
Oh, it's so nice to go camping with this type of car.
I can actually lie down in there, and
you can lie down.
I can lie down in there, and I'm 190 cm. I can lie down in there. My head is just at the back seat, and my feet stop here.
So nice.
So that's a 6'2" length of space that you have.
Oh, okay.
So apart from that, from the B pillar onwards.
Yep.
From here forward, it's Volvo 240. Basically, same engine, 2.3 litre, 4-cylinder. From here. From here, it's all wagon. So when getting parts for this car, always from the back here is proven difficult.
Okay.
But I managed to get new rear lights thanks to LK, our Evo Club member. He found them for me. New boot struts so that the boot doesn't. That hatch is very heavy.
Okay.
And it falls on you, you're gonna pengsan for sure. Okay, so I got new struts for that. Then the interior is very functional, as you can see.
That looks new.
The gear knob, yes, LK found it for me as well, so I got a new gear knob.
How much is it when you source for this type of parts? Old parts?
Well, unfortunately, it's a well-known fact that Volvo parts are not cheap. Volvo parts are pretty expensive, especially trim parts. Engine parts are not so bad because it shares the same as the sedan.
I see.
But trim parts for the wagon have proven to be quite expensive.
When we say expensive,
my kind of expensive, not Bobby's kind of expensive.
Yeah, so what's your range of expensive?
About a few $100 to nothing more than 1,000 ringgit so far. So far, fingers crossed. I overhauled the whole engine for about 2,000 ringgit. Yeah. Okay. You want to see the engine? This is old school.
Your overhaul is only 2,000 ringgit?
Yeah, the overhaul, full overhaul. Abang Zaidi in Hulu Langat Volca did it.
Chris, where you get all this lah? Where you get all this info of where to overhaul your engine? How you know whether the mechanics are good?
It comes from word of mouth, from friends. But then again, this is not the first Volvo I've owned. I've had 3 240 wagons. So
let me ask you, have you had a time where you went to a mechanic and he just fucked up your whole car?
Oh yes, that happens to everybody unfortunately. And needless to say, I shall not say who, but I never go back there again.
Okay, of course.
But here you go, this is the old school
so
Volvo
huge,
engine.
Man.
And that's the original sticker from Federal Auto. If you can see, they are the ones who assembled this car. This is the original color of the car, but I painted it gunmetal grey. I just did an outside coat because I didn't want them to pull out stuff. Old cars, when you pull out stuff, things break. So that's why I just did an outside coat. But the engine still runs beautifully. Took it for a drive the other day to Bobby's, to celebrate Bobby and HP's new cars, his Fiat and the Lexus. This got recently replaced because it was just, it's just wear and tear. Yeah. But yeah, as old school as they come.
I feel so little when you open up the bonnet.
If you take this engine out, you could sleep in here.
I think I probably could.
But yeah, they are very, very basic but very wonderful. And you know what? Solid cars, because it's like...
Yeah man, Volvos.
You got race slam. If not, the doors won't close properly. So. big Volvo steering wheel.
Oh, look at the rust.
No, that's not
Oh,
rust.
it's not rust?
That is actually cement dust.
Oh.
When they paint the
When
car.
they painted.
Yeah, I need to slowly detail this car myself.
Okay.
Yeah. So I don't have any audio because this doesn't work.
Okay.
This is actually from a Proton, I think. A Clarion there for Proton cars.
Apparently
And,
not.
Yeah. Shh, don't tell Bobby, but this is actually from his Fiat. My clock doesn't work, so I took the watch from his Fiat. It says Peugeot, so he didn't want it, so I put here lah.
Serious?
Yeah, serious. I took it from Bobby's Fiat. Aircon still works.
Aircon still works.
Yeah. This is how you open it, and it's a lockable glove box.
Oh wow.
And the light still works.
Oh my god.
Yeah, the little light still works.
So good.
So she just starts up every time, no problem. This is the blower.
So such a different feel. I literally feel like I'm going back in time from the RX-8
Yes.
to the Lexus is kind of like this generation, even though it was 2011. It's a 2011 car.
Yep.
And going back here is
This is super old.
so squarish on the inside. Even the lights, everything is just
And they all work. All the meters work.
okay.
And then to get it into reverse, you push in the clutch and then you pull this up. So a lot of people don't get this. They pull it. You have to pull this up all the way across, and that's reverse.
Yep.
And then it's back down again. So yeah, the gear knob was new because it was all robot.
Is it easy to drive?
So easy to drive. It's such an easy car to drive.
Guys,
But it is manual, so yeah.
there's something that I've never seen before is Chris Wee look proportionate inside a car. Like, every time I see he's always like, oh, this car's too small for me.
But nah,
But-
this car is as old school as they come.
There's the honks, guys.
Yeah, these two. That's the one. So I got the steering cover, but it broke because the steering is huge and the cover was too small. So I got to find another cover.
Man, all these old school buttons,
old
the
school.
travel is super long.
Yes.
So you realize, what does this do?
This is just to point the
Aircon.
vents at your feet.
Wow.
Yeah.
See
And
that?
this is to recirculate.
And all of it works.
All of it works.
Oh my
That's
gosh.
the hazard lights. This was the temperature where it also has a heater. Last time, this car's had heaters.
Does this still work?
Yeah, but you gotta. That's the cigarette lighter. Very politically incorrect. Cars don't come with cigarette lighters anymore. Yeah. But yeah, this is me wagon.
Awesome.
I put this bigger mirror so that I can see completely all around.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh no, it's just like that.
Oh,
It's
sorry.
like that.
So what made you want to get this car?
I've always wanted a wagon. I've had so many Volvos in the past. I've had 850s and 240s, but I've never had a 240 wagon. So when this came along and I saw the ad, I went straight over and test drove it. And apparently there were people waiting to test drive this car.
Really?
So the seller was sitting where you're sitting, and before we reached back his place, I actually gave him a deposit.
Oh.
Yeah, and sure enough, when we reached back, there were people waiting to actually see this car. Yeah.
You want to answer? Is that your phone?
Yeah, it's my phone.
Oh, you can answer. So guys, I just noticed this, but when I put Chris Wee in the frame, you probably don't or wouldn't even notice this, but this is actually very huge.
It's a huge wheel.
It's huge.
And
but it's so proportionate to him.
I can't adjust it. It's stuck. There's no adjustment.
Okay.
But it drives so well. And I'm actually considering taking this car for our Evo in Europe.
Really?
Yeah, I really am.
So are you gonna start one day earlier?
Probably
Or-
2 days earlier with this car.
Man,
But,
balls of
yeah.
steel.
Still a lovely car to drive. Very
So beautiful, Chris.
so much space. You could
Yeah,
sleep
so
in the
much
back there
space.
so easily.
So much space.
You want to do your usual climb into the boot, but
Yes,
this one is climb into the
let's
hatch.
do it. Look how I open.
You need to pull that harder.
Pull
Yeah,
it harder?
Pull harder.
Oh, wow.
And then slam it later.
Okay, slam it, pull it, hard. Everything just go in hard, go out hard, everything. Amazing.
So I shall hold the camera for you.
How Ugh.
Look at that. Easy peasy. Yeah, I think two bangs could sleep in there quite easily. Awesome. So that one is when you fold the seat.
Okay.
When you fold this back seat, the panel will drop and cause it to be a flat floor.
Can we do that?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, you hold your.
Okay.
So it's just like this. Push it down. And then I need to actually bring the seats in front a little bit.
Okay.
But it will
Let's
go
be flat. I
Yeah,
see.
it will go completely flat.
So a lot of us. And the thing is, even if you don't like the person that you're lying down with, right, there's enough space in between.
Yes, you can put your bags here. Keep a
social distance.
social distancing.
Awesome. And you were saying the things that you like. What's the thing that you love about this car? You were saying you just changed your rims?
Yes, I got the rims refurbished, but the lug nuts were old and mismatched. So I just bought new.
Nice.
I just bought new ones. 5 per wheel, so that's 20 lug nuts.
14-inch, that's a very... I've never heard of 14-inch.
The rim and the tyre, both is smaller than Bobby's rim. The rim and tyre of this car is smaller than Bobby's rim alone. I think his front disc brakes are bigger than my wheels.
So Chris, you've seen the evolution of cars from back in the day. How do you feel about it?
I think cars have gotten less practical. I think
Really?
it used to be a
Less
lot
practical?
more practical. I mean, think about it. A shooting brake, you're not gonna, it's considered like a wagon, but you're not going to be able to fit the kind of stuff that you can put inside here. These are proper wagons. Even Bobby calls these proper wagons. And I think they've gotten a bit more. Cars do too much for you these days, auto everything.
True.
And it's led to a lot of complacency when it comes to driving. This is my own personal opinion. Yeah, you might disagree
I
with me,
completely agree. Like everyone.
when a car does too much for you, you become too dependent on the car. You're not driving the car is driving you.
Exactly. And you don't have any skill anymore.
Yes, you don't need any skill anymore. With all the electronic active and passive safety and all that, you don't need any skill anymore. Anybody can be a fast driver. But with cars like this, they demand respect. You have to drive. No playing with your phone and stuff like this. That's another thing. Because cars do so much for you these days, you have too much time inside the car when you're driving. You start playing with your phone, you start getting distracted.
You're not really focused on what you need to do with the car,
You're
to
not
connect
focused.
with the car
Correct.
to make sure like
That's why
I'm not going to hit a curb.
Exactly. Yeah, because the car is driving you. You're not driving the car. So with cars like this, you tend to be a better and more focused and conscientious driver because they demand you to be. If not,
really
you're going to end up in a hedge.
It's not like going, I know how to drive this car. It's, you have to learn how the car reacts.
Yes.
Steer it, how much acceleration to put into it, throttle power, brake power.
Feel what the car is doing.
I miss this.
You can't feel this anymore. With newer cars, I'm not saying newer cars are bad. Newer cars are great.
It's just different.
It's just very different. It's a different age. Like I said just now in my video, this comes from a different age of motoring. Totally different age. I mean, it predates the internet, for God's sake. It predates everything you're watching this video on. Designed with a pencil, paper and ruler. Seriously. So yeah, the internet didn't exist, laptops didn't exist, smartphones didn't exist when this car was new. Amazing. 1985.
Any last word?
That sounds very ominous.
Or what would you recommend if people were to go to...
if you have a new car in your garage, you have new cars in your garage, and you want to feel what it's like to be driving a car from the different age of motoring, get yourself something old school.
What would you recommend? Like
something small. Get yourself a KE70 or something. Toyota KE70. They're cheap, they're easy to maintain, they're easy to do up. You can leave them for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and they'll still start up and go because they're so basic. No computerization, no electronic driver aids, nothing to sap your battery.
Okay, so that you would say is the entry point if you're going into
if you want to try something
cars.
old school classic, get something Japanese, don't get something continental. Japanese classic cars, JDMs, are by and large easier to actually maintain and fix up.
Make sure you get a car that the parts are readily available, not like the MX-5.
Get something that's your MX-5 you're having trouble getting parts. Yeah, I heard. Surprising because there's so many MX-5s running around. So
I guess not as much to have that demand and supply going on because it doesn't share parts.
It's a very niche car. Yes, it's a very unique.
It's not. I would say it's not so much of the JDM versus Conti. It's really of like an E30. It's so easy to find parts for an E30, right?
Yeah, I remember. And one piece of advice: find a mechanic that's good with the car that you want to buy first before you buy the car.
That's very good advice.
Yes, get somebody who knows the car. Before you actually.
Or if not, mechanics that are actually truthful with you, that tell you like I really don't know, but I researched
and I can find out.
And
absolutely.
is it okay if I try it on your car?
Yeah.
Instead of mechanics that just know it all. Yeah.
Yes, or think they know it all and then bugger up your car.
Thank you, Chris.
Thank you, Bang. Always a pleasure.